The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Tuesday, December 30th, reveal that Michael Baldwin will trick Victor Newman while Nikki Newmans spills to Jack Abbott. Clare Newman will also defend herself, so here's what Y&R fans can look forward to. For starters, Michael will put a risky plot in motion. Now that Michael has decided to dupe Victor and get the AI program away from him, he'll have to be sneaky about it. That means Michael will have to play the part of a loyal Newman soldier. It looks like Michael's plan will be off to a nice start on Tuesday's show since Victor will praise him for his devotion. Michael's going to get a reward, so he may feel a little guilty about lying to Victor's face. At the same time, Michael will feel confident that his scheme's going to work, just as long as he can keep his hands clean in the midst of all the deception. Over with Nikki, she'll reveal a secret and give Jack updates on some big news in the process. Will Nikki reveal that Michael tipped Victor off to the precautions Jack was taking at Jabot? Michael inadvertently led to Newman Media's attack on Jack and the Abbott Communications launch party derailment. If Nikki rats Michael out, that could leave Jack feeling like Michael can't be trusted despite Diane Jenkins Abbott's plea for his help. Of course, if Jack blasts Michael in front of Victor, it might work in Michael's favor. It could help Michael sell himself as a loyal Newman servant and put him in a better position to dupe Victor. Over with Clare, she'll rush to her own defense. Clare may justify throwing that drink in Audra Charles' face as she complains to Holden Novak. Clare might also defend her need to put herself first and explore her romantic options on her own time. Kyle Abbott is all out of patience and basically just made the breakup permanent, but Clare will still trust her own instincts when it comes to her love life. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Holden will convince Clare to spend New Year's Eve with him soon, but she'll have a stipulation when it comes to their date. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Now that Christmas is over, we can think of several characters on The Young and the Restless whose holidays weren't as festive as they would have liked. Hopefully for them, next Christmas will be better. Here are 5 characters who hope Christmas 2026 is a happier one. Cain has wanted nothing more than to reconnect with the happy family he once had. He wants to reunite with the love of his life, Lily. He also wants his children, Charlie and Maddie, to forgive him for keeping his identity of Aristotle Dumas a secret from them for 6 years. He wants them to let him back into their hearts, but no matter how many phone calls or texts he sends them, they refuse to forgive him. So this Christmas wasn't the happiest one for Cain. But now that Lily is starting to warm up to him a little bit, maybe the two of them will grow even closer by the time next Christmas comes along. In Soapland, anything is possible. During the first half of 2025, Audra had everything she could have wanted. A relationship with a loving boyfriend, Nate, and a close friendship with Amy, who Audra even viewed as a mother figure. The only thing missing from Audra's life was a rewarding career. If only she hadn't made that dreadful deal with the devil of Genoa City, Victor Newman. Everything went downhill for her after that. Thankfully, it looks like she's starting to put her friendship with Amy back together, but Nate is finished with her for good. So, Audra's Christmas must have been pretty darn gloomy, but she always manages to remain positive in the face of tough times. Maybe next Christmas, she will be lucky in love again and have a successful career? Perhaps she will be reunited with her ex-boyfriend, Noah, now that he's back in Genoa City. After all, who knows how long it will last between him and Sienna? Kyle's love life has been a mess for months now on The Young and the Restless. Thankfully, though, he finally made it clear to Clare that he can't do this anymore. He can't keep waiting for her and putting his life on hold, hoping she will finally be ready to commit to him. He finally took a stand. It was about time. Why do we get the feeling that by next Christmas, they will be back together? It just feels like it's all going to come full circle for them. That means Victor's Christmas next year may not be a happy one, since he hates the Abbott men. When Lily had lunch with Tracy at Society, she told Tracy that Charlie and Maddie were not coming home to spend Christmas with her. We clearly saw the disappointment on Lily's face. Not being able to spend an important holiday with your children is painful. She knows they are still angry at Cain, and she herself is confused about whether or not she wants to make amends with him. Thankfully, Tracy reminded her about a similar experience she went through with her daughter, Colleen. When Colleen was going through her rebellious phase, "The love was always there," Tracy said, "and she always came back." It was great how Tracy was a good friend to Lily and made her realize that there's always hope, to which Lily responded that she wasn't going to give up on Charlie and Maddie. Maybe next Christmas, they will return to Genoa City to spend the holidays with her, and maybe by then, all will be good between them and Kane. We really have to hand it to Jack. In spite of the fact that his family's company, Jabot, may very well be going down the tubes, that didn't stop him from taking some time to romance his wife, Diane, on Christmas Eve. She had a great point when she told him that this Christmas, all of their problems regarding Victor and Jabot were going to remain outside their door. She wasn't going to let Victor's attack ruin their Christmas. Good for you, Diane. No Abbott should ever let Victor have that kind of power over them. But we know Jack will feel much more relaxed and joyful next Christmas if Jabot is thriving again, and if he can get the AI program away from Victor and destroy the darn thing. So, let's hope Michael or Phyllis will step in and assist the Abbotts somehow. They deserve to have a Merry Christmas, and Jabot deserves to be salvaged. Jack's beloved late father, John Abbott, wouldn't have it any other way. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall's escape plan, will be derailed. Victor Newman and Nick Newman will team up on a new scheme to hopefully stop Matt permanently, so let's talk about all the drama. As the week of December 29th to January 2nd gets underway, Nick will offer $1 million if Matt will let Sienna Bacall go safely. Nick will also push Matt to finally stop playing all these vengeful games with his family and just stay away forever. Of course, Matt doesn't trust any of the Newmans, so he'll demand that Nick send the money to an offshore bank account. Matt will spell out his plan to leave the country, lock in the money, and only then will he reveal Sienna's whereabouts. In reality, Matt won't be sure he's going to keep his end of the bargain regarding Sienna. There's also the matter of Noah Newman and whether Matt will allow him to keep breathing after all the affair chaos. As for Nick, he obviously has no intention of letting Matt vanish. Nick knows Matt well enough to realize he'd probably just come back later to torment them all over again. Matt needs to be stopped for good, but Nick has to let him think he's getting what he wants. This is a tricky situation since one wrong move could mean the end of Sienna and seal the deal on Matt resuming his fatal Noah goals, too. Nevertheless, Victor isn't someone who lets a guy like Matt push him around. Matt won't get away with all the damage he's inflicted on the Newman clan, so Victor will brainstorm with Nick soon enough. Nick and Victor will work on one final scheme to end this Matt nightmare and finally restore peace in Genoa City. After Victor and Nick do some plotting, they'll put their plot in motion and hope it results in Matt's downfall. The Young and the Restless spoilers say there are plenty of ways this plan could end in disaster, so stick with us for updates on all the disturbing news to come. The Young and the Restless truly wasn't going to let Christmas come and go without Victor and Nikki making up, were they? It turns out the answer is now. Victor did his best to meet Nikki halfway, and for that, Soap Central is bestowing Performer of the Week honors on Victor's portrayer, Eric Braeden. Nikki showed up at the Newman ranch to find Victor there alone. The two had had harsh words the previous week over Victor's relentless pursuit of Jack Abbott. Would Victor drop his force field of hate long enough to let Nikki in so the two could reconcile? The answer was yes. Victor and Nikki have married, divorced, and remarried many times over the years. They know that they're in it for the long haul, but that doesn't mean that conflicts aren't going to arise. As it was the holidays, Nikki and Victor found common ground on wanting to make peace so that Christmas wouldn't be ruined for their children and grandchildren. It wasn't just the next generation that helped Victor and Nikki reconcile. Extravagant gifts helped. Nikki told Victor she knew what he was doing, trying to buy her affection and loyalty back. Braeden'S no stranger to infusing Victor with some whimsy, especially in his scenes with Thomas Scott. That's just what he did when he saw that his generous gift made an impact on his estranged wife. And while baubles are nice, Victor truly reached Nikki by opening up his heart. First, he told her how a visit she made to him on a Christmas long ago touched him, as he was on the outs with family members then, too. Nikki brought Victor a small tree that lit up as a gesture that year. When Nikki noted that this wasn't the first Christmas they'd been at odds with one another, Braeden'S Victor wistfully recalled, "No, it has not." Viewers were treated to black and white flashbacks of that time. Back to the present, Victor said, "I probably didn't tell you then, but that Christmas tree meant everything to me." He added that while they may have been apart, she has always been in his heart. The exquisite Thomas Scott met her scene partner, emotion for emotion. She thanked him for their children, their family, and their life together. We weren't guaranteed this reconciliation for the holidays. After all, the duo had had their big blow not that long ago. But the Y&R writers gave both actors the scripts to deliver the reunion, and they both shone through and gave viewers the best gift of all, Victor and Nikki remembering the true spirit of Christmas. As a child, Victor couldn't have imagined the life he has now. He recounted a story to Nikki that on December 24th, when he was 7 years old, his mother, Cora, left him at an orphanage as she was destitute. "She did not have enough money to feed me, so she left me," Victor lamented. Albert Miller had walked out on Cora, Christian, Kikucha, and Matt, leaving them nearly destitute. "Now look at what we have," said Victor, noting the family's financial wealth and material goods. Braeden brought a knowing tone to his delivery that made it clear that Victor knew that all the stuff in the world meant nothing without family. Time will tell if Victor is capable of taking the warm feelings he mustered up for the holidays and will carry them over into the new year. If he can't, Victor and Nikki are headed back to square one. Either way, Braeden gave viewers a fantastic holiday gift with his poignant performance of a man who will, in some ways, forever be that little 7-year-old boy the Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Billy Abbott, Sally Spectra, and Victoria Newman all spent a festive Christmas Eve together trimming their Charlie Brown tree. But at some point, the convo turned serious, and Sally, for some reason, spilled all of her woes about Billy unto Victoria, which is odd considering that Victoria is Billy's ex-wife and Sally and Victoria don't exactly move in the same circles. It was an awkward moment, but Sally went there, telling Victoria all about her childhood. Apparently, Sally's circus dad failed her. Talk then turned to Billy, a man her own age, her partner. Sally will not let Billy fail her like her dad did. Victoria asked if Sally sees Billy as a lover or a rescue project. That was a pretty bold ask, but Sally started it. It's strange that Sally spilled her guts to Billy's ex-wife on Christmas Eve. There are more appropriate conversations to be had regarding eggnog and such. Wouldn't Audra Charles be a better choice for a confessional? Soaps never waste precious airtime on throwaway dialogue, and we suspect that the decision to have Sally confide in Victoria was significant. What are the chances that Sally and Billy don't work out, and Victoria and Billy rekindle their spark? We don't see Billy and Victoria and their kids together often, but they sure looked homey celebrating the holiday. Maybe it was just a case of releasing built-up tension on Sally's part, but the conversation stood out in an odd way. The show recently tried chem testing between Victoria and Nate Hastings, but nothing has come of that. Interestingly, their pairing was a failure in the past, and it may be that TPTV are exploring new options for the Newman heiress. Tell us, Y&R fans, are you ready for Billy and Victoria to recommit themselves to family life, or has that ship sailed? Nick and Noah play hero. The Young and Restless spoilers for Monday, December 29th allow Phyllis to make up her mind about which side of the Newman-Jabot feud she's on this week. Billy asked Phyllis to help him and Jack retrieve the computer program that Phyllis had stolen from Kane and given to Victor in the first place. Phyllis's new plan is to align herself with Kane so that they can defeat Victor, and Phyllis will regain her status as a mogul. And being against Victor means being pro-Jack. Until Phyllis just shifts. But for now, Jack will be blessed by Phyllis's loyalty and her hacking skills. Much to Sharon and Nick's dismay, Noah insists he's in love with Sienna, that Sienna is in love with him, and that she's not in cahoots with Matt. Sienna is in trouble, and she's waiting for her hero, Noah, to rescue her. So it seems that Noah is a romantic like his dad, and he seems to be just as bad at relationships. And speaking of Nick, he won't give up on bringing down Matt, no matter what Sharon says. Like Victor, Nick always knows best, and anyone who disagrees just doesn't love his family as much as Nick does. And that includes Sharon. Sharon would like to keep Nick and Noah safe, but they're going off on their own. Nick calls Matt's bluff and walks straight into a trap? If he does, he'll still explain how his plan was right. It's just Matt refused to play along. The Young and the Restless, spoilers note. A familiar face will pop back up in Genoa City come the new year. According to Soap Opera Digest, Ray Wise will return to the canvas in 26, and CTS has all the details regarding this shocking comeback below. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Wise will reprise his Ian Ward character. Teasers for the Friday, January 2nd episode suggest Ian will haunt Mariah Copeland once again. The last time fans saw Ian was some months back in October, when he appeared as a figment of Mariah's imagination while she was at her mental health facility. Mariah had just had a visit from her wife, Tessa Porter, and Ian showed up to taunt her. As such, it looks like lightning will strike twice, so it'll be interesting to see what he tells Mariah this time around, and how his visit will add insight to the woman's mental instability. Ian entered the GC canvas in 2014 as the leader of the cult that Nikki Newman was affiliated with in her younger years. He also raised Mariah as a father figure in her life, where she was exposed to some toxic and emotional abuse. Ian Ward would exit storylines in 2016, only to return in November 2024, when fans found out that he and Jordan Howard teamed up to wreak havoc on the Newmans. Their revenge plan shook the lives of the family, along with Mariah, as he tortured her mother, Sharon Newman, too. Ian was shot in January 2025 by Victor Newman after an explosive confrontation, and while he was thought to be dead, viewers watched in horror as Ian's eyes opened while in the ambulance on the way to the morgue. It's unclear if Ian will become more of a regular in the weeks and months ahead, so fans need to stay tuned to CTS for more updates. Are you excited about Ian Ward's return? Comment below. Tune into the CBS Soap Daily and check out this site often for the best Young and the Restless updates, spoilers, and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Monday, December 29th, 2025. In the next episode, Nick Newman faces off with Matt Clark. And while Noah Newman frets about Sienna Bacall. Plus, Phyllis Summers has a gift for Jack Abbott. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Noah, who will be concerned about Sienna's safety. Even though he just wanted to show Sienna Genoa City alone, it was a mistake. Matt ordered Detective Annie Stewart to take care of his wife. That led to the detective to knock Noah over the head in order to kidnap the lady. Noah turned to Nick and Sharon Newman for help. While Nick and Sharon aren't sure if Sienna is truly a victim, Noah insists she is. For now, Nick and Sharon have agreed that they can figure it out later, but they need to deal with Matt right now. It's not clear if Sienna is really a victim or not, to be honest. Half the time, the lady acts like she truly loves Noah and is scared of her ex-husband. However, the other half of the time, she acts like she's hiding something. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Monday, December 29th, reveal that Nick will arrange to meet with Matt. When the villain shows up in the park, Nick makes a comment about thinking he wouldn't have the guts. That is when Matt says he wouldn't miss this party for the world. That does not sound good. Matt will likely not give up Sienna unless he gets some kind of trade. However, a deal with Matt also can't ever be trusted. Over with Phyllis, she manages to get an amazing gift for Jack. Since Billy Abbott is trying to get Phyllis to help them, I wonder if she comes through. Will Phyllis suddenly show up at the Abbott manse with the AI program for Jack? Phyllis didn't want Jabot destroyed. She wanted to run it. While there is a lot of volatile history with Phyllis, she could spin this to get what she wants as well. However, that could bring some complications between Phyllis and Diane Jenkins Abbott, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, December 29th, 2025? The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Matt Clark is a Grinch who doesn't project to a redemptive ending. He's a Scrooge who won't have an epiphany, leaving fans wondering how his story will end. Nick Newman believes in protecting his family during this holiday season and every other day of the year. The contrast between him and Matt has been evident since fans first met the character Howarth now plays in the mid-90s. Sharon Newman's ex-boyfriend is a monster. Nearly 2 months past Halloween, Matt's leap from Los Angeles, California, to Genoa City, Wisconsin, will likely bleed into the new year. To someone like Matt, any holiday is meaningless. Love and warmth aren't part of his existence. Instead, eternal vengeance for those he turned into enemies fuels his dark heart. Having Annie Stewart knock Noah Newman unconscious and again kidnap Sienna Bacall reflects naked aggression. The audacity of Matt having his morally bankrupt enforcer commit those acts on the Newmans' turf is intense. Matt isn't a rational thinker, which gives Nick and Sharon something to work with. Plus, Noah is safe, which is what matters most to them. Wanting to show Sienna the town was a heartfelt gesture. It's also one that both lovebirds didn't think through. Everyone on both sides of the screen understands that love naturally clouds the brain. Thankfully for Noah, his parents are using the logical parts of their brains as they try to defend their family and prepare for whatever Matt is planning. Sienna's presence in Noah's life was accurately assessed by Victor Newman, Nick, and Sharon. They knew she was trouble, especially because the man she married and knew as Mitch Bacall was a notorious, assumed dead villain. It's widely known that warring factions have paused hostilities during various holidays, including Christmas, throughout world history. Matt doesn't seem to be the type of person who would delay whatever he has in store for Noah and his parents. Sienna is apparently being held hostage because that leverage creates forced contact with the Newmans. Victor destroyed Matt's company with the artificial intelligence weapon. Sienna took all available cash from the till at the Shadow Room before she and Noah left for GC. Matt wants restitution and thinks he can escape justice through some type of deal that includes releasing Sienna when his demands and thirst for revenge are quenched. The Newman family can't enjoy the holiday season with that looming threat. They will cautiously celebrate while Nick attempts to broker a deal. Doing so might at least delay Matt's next strike. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, December 26th indicate that Sally Spectra will come through when Jabot needs it. Lauren Fenmore will push Michael Baldwin to do what is right instead of following Victor Newman's orders. Chelsea Lawson will give Adam Newman an ultimatum. Adam and Chelsea may work for Victor, but that does not mean that Chelsea likes what they are doing. Chelsea is completely horrified to learn that the media can be manipulated to completely destroy a company and a man with nothing but words. Chelsea surely does not agree with what they have done to Jack Abbott. Chelsea may not have always been an upstanding citizen. However, now that she has turned over a new leaf and she wants to be a good example for her son, Chelsea just cannot see causing stress to another person for no reason. Chelsea needs Adam to just stop doing Victor's dirty work, or else, but can Adam do that? Michael has been there for Victor through thick and thin. Finally, Lauren had gotten her way, and Michael retired. Lauren was thrilled that her husband was finally not working for Victor again, and they could have a normal life. At least, this was the life Lauren thought she was going to have once Michael retired. Victor could not believe that Michael had abandoned him and refused to speak to the poor man for weeks. Victor wanted nothing to do with him. After Victor forgave Michael, he got right back into the middle of Victor's vendetta against Jack Abbott. Lauren, along with most of us, have no idea why Victor is doing this, but fans are with Lauren and want it to stop once and for all. Jack and Billy Abbott are doing their best to hold Victor off as he plans to use the AI program on Jabot. Jack and Billy have literally shut down Jabot to keep it safe. However, Victor has now attacked them in the media, and that may be even worse now that they have mentioned the shutdown and Jack is having to explain that. However, Sally will be the one that comes through with some information. Jack and Billy have big plans. Sally will show them how to make an end run around Victor and start the New Year's off right. How is Victor going to deal with this situation? Is Jabot finally back on top and out of Victor's reach? Where will this battle go from here? Y&R spoilers for next week set the stage for emotional reckoning and high-stakes maneuvering as Nick challenges Matt Clark, Adam and Sally face their past, and Mariah's trauma resurfaces just as the new year begins. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for the week of December 29th through January 2nd, promise an interesting discussion between Adam and Sally as these two exes confront their complicated past on New Year's Eve. Plus, Nick finally calls Matt Clark's bluff before Nick and Victor end up plotting against the evildoer. Finally, Don't miss out on Mariah being haunted once more by Ian Ward as the new year begins. It's going to be a wild start to 2026. Monday, December 29th, 2025. Episode number 13282. Nick calls Matt Clark's bluff. Phyllis gives Jack an unexpected gift. Noah worries about Sienna's safety. Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. Episode number 13283. Victor rewards Michael's loyalty. Nikki shares a secret with Jack. Claire stands by her actions. Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. Episode number 13284. Kane makes a bold move to impress Lily. Adam and Sally discuss their complicated past. Tessa explores her feelings for Daniel. Her relationship with Kane could cause even bigger problems for her daughter. The Young and the Restless has been teasing Summer's rumored return. She could end up in Genoa City after discovering that Marchetti had gone under. Phyllis has been entangled with Kane both professionally and romantically, which could ruin everything that her daughter worked so hard to build. In May 2024, Summer left Genoa City for Italy. She had to focus on Marchetti since she lost Sally and Chelsea. They jumped onto their respective partners' businesses, which hasn't been smooth sailing. In fact, Summer is at the center of some of the drama, no thanks to her mom. Phyllis gave Victor the AI software program, so this gives him free rein to attack anyone. But Victor proved that he doesn't need AI to take down Jack. He can just easily expose his weakness by having his son, Adam, release a hit piece about Jabot shutting down. The news came out at the Abbott Communications launch party. Daniel wondered what this meant for Summer. He immediately called his sister and asked her to contact him at her earliest convenience. Daniel was shocked since Jabot was the strongest company in Genoa City. He doesn't understand how this could happen. That's when he wondered whether his own mother knew. Phyllis said she was blindsided by this news. Jack didn't tell her what happened. She was gravely concerned about Jabot. Daniel pressed his mom for more information. Why was she so concerned about Jabot? She claimed that she was more concerned about Summer. It could affect her professionally and financially. Daniel could tell that Phyllis was in the midst of whatever was happening with Jabot. She blamed Victor for what happened, but her relationship with Kane isn't any better. No one can trust her, not even her own children. Phyllis's plan with Victor could ultimately be exposed. After all, she should know better than to trust Victor's intentions. Victor could expose her dirty little secret, and then find out that she's been canoodling with Kane behind his back, which also won't be kept secret for long. Phyllis is involved with a man who's ruined so many businesses and lives since his return. Summer will be livid once she finds out the truth and what it cost her future. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Once the half-hour mark is hit on hour-long soaps, viewers pretty much know who's going to be in the episode, or not. The Young and the Restless delivered a pleasant surprise today when Kyle Abbott wished Clare Newman all the best in life as he walked out of hers, seemingly for the last time. The scene was dramatic on its own, but Y&R threw in a bonus. Audra Charles was just around the corner, eating up every bit of the couple's breakup like it was one of society's scrumptious desserts. Inside the eatery, Audra doled out her daily dose of digs to Holden about Clare. Then, the Newman heiress appeared and told Audra to back off. The showdowns between these two have become a favorite among viewers. While Y&R has many great female friendships, it also has its share of rivalries. The one between Clare and Audra is at the top of many people's favorites. Clare and Audra had not been afraid to get physically combative with each other, and today was no exception. They didn't resort to trading physical blows, but Clare did pick up a drink and throw it in Audra's face. This wasn't bad as Friday tags go, as we're wondering if the show will pick up directly on Monday, as Audra reacts to Clare's attack. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that a preview clip has been released for the week of December 29th, 2025. It shows Matt Clark showing up to face off with Nick Newman. Kane Ashby has a proposition for Lily Winters. Plus, Holden Novak asks Claire Grace Newman out for New Year's Eve. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Holden, who approaches Claire. Even though Claire didn't want to pursue a relationship with Holden, they are still friends. The young man will ask Claire out on a date, specifically out for New Year's Eve. Surprisingly, Claire agrees. However, she says under one condition. Judging by the look on her face, Claire has a big favor to ask. I wonder if she wants more details about Audra Charles. Over with Kane, he will go up to Lily. The tycoon will tell his ex-wife that he was going to spend the holiday alone. However, now that she's here, he wants to spend it with her. In fact, Kane says that there is no one else he would rather be with on New Year's Eve. However, Lily looks rather stunned. Even though Tracy Abbott gave her some good advice, Lily also saw Kane and Phyllis Summers too close for comfort. So, I don't blame Lily for being wary. The Young and the Restless spoilers for next week reveal that Nick sends a message to Matt. The man will want to make a deal for Sienna Bacall's release. Knowing Nick, he has some kind of trap planned. Of course, Matt has no interest in giving up Sienna. The man clearly loves the hunt and mind games, so he's going to want to keep this going. Nick isn't even sure Matt is going to show up. However, the villain does. Nick is pretty bold by stating that he didn't think the man would have the guts to show up. Matt doesn't look scared or worried at all, which scares me. It seems that Matt will have some more surprises and curveballs for the Newman family. The villain tells Nick, I wouldn't miss this party for the world. That certainly doesn't sound good. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of December 29th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Young and the Restless spoilers for next week expect Noah Newman lashing out at his dad, Nick Newman. And you can guess why. We've got spoilers for Noah and Nick, for Sienna, for Michael Baldwin and Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, for Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott, the Abbotts, the Newmans, and so much more. So, let's start with Michael and Fenmore Baldwin. At the end of this week, Diane Jenkins met up with Michael at Society, and Diane was appealing to Michael, saying he may be the only one who can help them with the big Victor Newman problem. Diane tells Michael he is a good person, and she does know he's loyal to Victor, but Diane is really hoping Michael will help them stop Victor because if they don't, Jabot is going to be destroyed. Michael admits he is totally sickened by what Victor did, but he just doesn't know how he can help. So Diane wants Michael to help them get the AI program away from Victor so the Abbotts can destroy it. Michael tells Diane that he warned Victor several times not to use this thing, but Diane says they need proof that Victor has the AI software before he uses it again. In the end, Michael agreed to try and help however he can, but I don't think that he knows Diane would love to use that evidence to put Victor behind bars over and above destroying the AI. Later, Jack Abbott told Diane that Billy is playing Let's Make a Deal with Phyllis Summers, trying to get her to steal the AI back. He's working on that. So Diane is actually hoping that either Michael or Nikki Newman will come through for them because she doesn't want to owe Phyllis anything. But the thing is, after the confrontation with Victor and Nikki, I don't think Nikki is going to be helpful at all. But surprisingly, the price that Phyllis asks from the Abbotts for stealing the AI back is not something for herself. She wants the Abbotts to sign Marchetti over to Summer Newman. Lock, stock, and barrel. At a glance, that sounds like Phyllis is being selfless, but I don't think so. First of all, Red's always working an angle. Second, Daniel Romalotti is on to Phyllis. He knows that she is part of the reason that Jabot has been hit this hard, and Summer heard from Kyle Abbott and from Daniel about what her mom's been doing. So, I think Phyllis wants to hand Summer the Marchetti brand all tied up in a bow for Christmas. So then Phyllis can act like she was doing a good thing when really, this whole Victor AI Jabot disaster is all Phyllis's fault. Next week, Young and the Restless spoilers have Lauren and Michael talking about the mess. Lauren's asking Michael, "Okay, what's worse? An invasive AI program set to decimate the companies of their nearest and dearest friends, or a double-crossed Victor Newman?" Because obviously, Michael's telling her if he helps the Abbotts, Victor's going to find out, and the mustache will come unglued, and he'll be furious at Michael again when he just got back on Victor's good side. But I am sure that Lauren is going to tell Michael, "You need to do the right thing. You need to help the Abbotts. You need to do what Diane asked and see if you can get the AI away from Victor, or at least get the proof on Victor that Diane asked for." Also this week, we had Nikki threaten to leave Victor if he didn't retract the hit piece on Jack and Jabot and publicly apologize. And as I predicted, Victor blew up. He was enraged that Nikki threatened to leave him over Jack after all their years together. Victor says he's not going to put up with threats from anybody, not even her. And when Nikki said she'd leave him and won't look back, Victor's like, "Get out, go!" But next week, Young and the Restless spoilers for Christmas Eve have Victor and Nikki back in a good place. So, that means either Victor got Nikki to back off or called her bluff, or Victor has lost the AI by then, and Nikki doesn't have to push the issue. Also, next week, we've got Christmas action over at Billy and Sally's place. So Johnny Abbott and Victoria Newman show up at Billy's house. Johnny has a little Christmas tree and says, "I got it." And he's wishing Billy and Sally a Merry Christmas. It looks like Katie Abbott is there. Sally is smiling at Billy and his kids. She and Victoria are chill. It's all very nice. Now, let's talk about why Noah is so mad at his dad, Nick. By the end of this week, Noah and Sienna were hanging out at Sharon Newman's house, but she heads to the office and warns Noah and Sienna, "Don't leave, you're safe here." But Noah's stupid. So, he says he's not afraid of Matt, and he decides to take Sienna out sightseeing around Genoa City, which is exactly what you should do when a fentanyl-dealing psycho is looking for you. So Noah and Sienna take off, and they initially have the Newman security team with them. But like the geniuses they are, Noah and Sienna decide to dodge their protective detail. So, first Noah is with Sienna at Crimson Lights, and then Noah takes Sienna to the Overlook Park. And if you remember, Dirty Cop Annie is in town with Matt, and he ordered her to get into the GCAC and get Sienna, take care of her. But it looks like Annie figured out Sienna isn't really there. So, Nick and Sharon are upset when they find the note that Noah left saying he and Sienna went out. Nick called Noah and warned Matt's in town, but Noah's cocky, saying he's not scared of Sienna's husband. But he really should be. He's just not a brain trust. As I predicted, Detective Burrow showed up in Genoa City this week. We'll have more of him next week. He's with the Newmans also searching for Matt and Dirty Detective Annie. So, as Noah and Sienna are admiring the view and kissing, of course, Annie gets the drop on them. She assaults Noah, clocks him in the head, and hauls Sienna off at gunpoint. That leads into the Young and the Restless spoilers for next week, where Noah is at Crimson Lights with ice on his head because he's an idiot. And Sharon tells Noah that Matt can't just kidnap Sienna and sneak out of town because Matt doesn't have any resources. This is where Noah starts to get really ticked off because Nick suggests that Matt didn't kidnap Sienna, and she went with him willingly. And as we all know, Nick's favorite workout is jumping to dumb conclusions. He's pretty, but he's not real bright, and Nick's almost always wrong. That's just facts. That's his track record. And so Noah gets really mad and wants to know why Nick keeps assuming the worst of Sienna. Also, next week, Diane and Jack enjoy some Christmas romance and cuddle time at the Abbott mansion. And don't forget, Christmas Day is a rerun of an episode from 2010. That's a Y&R's take on A Christmas Carol, with Victor getting the Ebenezer Scrooge treatment. Be sure to come back for our dated daily Young and the Restless full weekly spoilers update coming soon. The Young and the Restless dropped a surprising update about Connor. Chelsea and Adam told Victor that he's dealt with some minor setbacks at school. However, they feel confident that he'll get back on track. Connor was diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder. He has been through a lot over the years, and was also diagnosed with trauma. Recently, Connor's parents, Chelsea and Adam, noticed that Connor made progress in his therapy, only to discover that he was faced with another setback. Connor struggled with intrusive thoughts, such as telling himself that he doesn't deserve happiness. During that difficult time, Chelsea and Adam locked lips and took their relationship to the next level, ultimately ending their respective relationships with Billy and Sally. They moved in together at the old Newman ranch with Connor, but he was sent off to school, where he's working with a new doctor. Prior to Billy and Sally's launch party, Chelsea and Adam showed up at the Newman ranch. They gave Victor an update on Connor. He dropped out of his school's party at the last minute. So they're going to leave Genoa City briefly to go see him. Chelsea and Adam didn't share any details about whether they were spending Christmas there with Connor. Nor did they say whether Connor was returning home for Christmas. They also didn't explain how long their stay would be. They only suggested that he has dealt with some minor setbacks lately, especially since he has been working with a new doctor. This development could set up Connor's storyline for 2026. He might return to Genoa City since he's struggling to work with his doctor. Adam and Chelsea might discover that Connor dislikes his doctor or his school. The Y&R preview for this week suggests that Chelsea and Adam's marriage might be tested. Chelsea will give Adam an ultimatum after he released the hit piece about Jack.